In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on February 20th, 2026, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Milwaukee Bucks versus New Orleans Pelicans. The Milwaukee Bucks visit the New Orleans Pelicans at the Smoothie King Center on Friday, looking to keep their recent surge rolling. They just took down the Magic and Thunder, have the Raptors on deck, and have come out on top in 5 of their last 6 games, which has given them a much-needed spark. The Pelicans are coming in from a very different recent stretch. They beat the Kings, then fell to the Heat, and face the 76ers next. But the bigger story is that they have dropped 19 of their last 26 games, which hangs over any short-term bounce. Milwaukee is still dealing with a couple of absences in Miles Turner and Giannis Antetokounmpo, while New Orleans has already ruled out DeJounte Murray, Yves Missi, and Trey Murphy III. These teams met back on February 4th, and that one turned into a wild overtime shootout, with the Bucks pulling out a 141-137 win, so another tight battle would not be surprising on feel alone. Even with all the trade chatter swirling, the Bucks have snapped into form with that run of 5 wins in 6, while the Pelicans had started to show signs of life with 2 straight victories before the Heat knocked them back in their last outing before the break. The Pelicans do not find themselves in the favorite role very often, but when they do, they have actually handled it pretty well lately, covering 8 of their last 10 in that spot. Even so, grabbing the points with the Bucks still feels like the better side. New Orleans has not been steady enough to fully trust when they are the ones laying points, especially with their broader slump still in view. Milwaukee went into the break hot with those 5 wins in 6 games, and they already proved themselves in this matchup earlier in the month, winning that overtime thriller as 5-point underdogs. If Cam Thomas keeps playing at his current level, he has the scoring punch to steer Milwaukee to another upset result in this kind of setting. You can absolutely build a case for either side, since these rosters match up fairly evenly on talent when you set injuries aside, but the grit the Bucks showed in that win over the Thunder is the kind of thing that can carry over. That performance makes it easy to believe they can grind out another tough, close game here and stay inside the number while they do it. As our first pick for this matchup, the Milwaukee Bucks to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Milwaukee Bucks are averaging 111.8 points on 48.1% shooting while giving up 115.2 points on 46.4% shooting. They are hitting 39.2% of their three-point attempts and 73.7% at the free throw line. On the other end, they are allowing 36.8% shooting from deep and collecting 41.2 rebounds per game, which limits some of the extra possessions that can blow games wide open on the scoreboard. The New Orleans Pelicans are putting up 114.6 points per night on 46.2% shooting and allowing 120.4 points on 47.8% shooting. They are making 34.5% of their shots from beyond the arc and 78.5% of their free throws. Defensively, they are giving up 35.4% from 3 and pulling down 43.6 rebounds per game. Neither team is playing at a pace or efficiency level that absolutely screams non-stop fireworks when you line up the percentages. Milwaukee's strong three-point accuracy is tempered by a lower free throw clip and a modest rebounding profile, while New Orleans pairs middling outside shooting with a defense that, while leaky, still contests enough to avoid completely uncontested nights. Those kinds of numbers often lead to stretches where the game bogs down into half-court possessions, with both sides relying on patient execution more than constant fast break attacks. If the rhythm leans toward longer trips, set plays, and plenty of contested looks, then even a game with some scoring talent on the floor can finish with fewer points than the raw per-game averages might suggest. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Brooklyn Nets versus Oklahoma City Thunder. The Brooklyn Nets and Oklahoma City Thunder meet Friday at Paycom Center, with both teams trying to sort out very different issues right now. The Nets are coming off losses to the Pacers and Cavs, with the Hawks up next, and they have dropped 17 of their last 21 games, which pretty much tells you how rough this stretch has been. Brooklyn is still a bit thin, with Nick Claxton ruled out, which hurts their presence inside and forces them to lean even harder on perimeter work and small ball lineups. Oklahoma City is dealing with its own personnel problems, with Jalen Williams, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Ajay Mitchell all ruled out, so this is not exactly the full-strength version of the Thunder either. Even so, the Nets have been one of the coldest teams in the league for a while now. They flash some promise here and there, but those flashes are buried under a pile of lopsided losses, including the sort of blowout they just took. And the Thunder have not been in their most ruthless form lately, partly because of those injuries, and their rhythm has wobbled at times. Still, they were humbled badly in that big loss to the Bucks in their last outing, and that kind of beating usually wakes up a good team rather than putting it to sleep. It is easy to picture them coming out with sharper focus and better intensity here, especially in front of their own crowd. For the Nets, so much hinges on Porter Jr. putting up something special on the offensive end. If he is not having a huge night, they just do not have enough reliable scoring to trade punches with a team that still has structure, coaching, and role players who know exactly what they are supposed to do. Given how often Brooklyn has fallen behind and stayed behind during this slump, asking them to keep pace without that kind of standout performance feels like a reach. As our first pick for this matchup, the Oklahoma City Thunder to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Brooklyn Nets are averaging 107.7 points on 44.6% shooting and allowing 114.9 points on 49.3% shooting. They are hitting 34.4% from beyond the arc and 77.4% from the free throw line. On defense, they are allowing opponents to shoot 37.5% from deep, and they are grabbing 40.7 rebounds per game, which is not exactly overwhelming on the glass. The Oklahoma City Thunder are averaging 119.7 points on 48.7% shooting and allowing 108.1 points on 43.5% shooting. They are knocking down 36.2% of their three-point attempts and 82.1% at the free throw line. They are allowing 37.1% shooting from deep and pulling in 43.7 rebounds per game. Those stats show one team that scores very efficiently and another that struggles to keep up, but the injury situation changes the feel. With key Thunder scorers sidelined, their usual offensive ceiling is harder to reach, and the ball can stick more or slide into less explosive hands. On the other side, the Nets' own offensive issues are obvious in that scoring average, and facing a defense that holds opponents under 44% shooting from the field does not exactly make life easier. When both offenses have reasons to sputter, whether from missing stars or from long-term slumps, you often get longer, more grinding possessions, more empty trips, and fewer clean looks from three. That kind of rhythm usually drags the overall total down, even if one team is clearly more efficient on paper. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Denver Nuggets versus Portland Trail Blazers. The Denver Nuggets and Portland Trail Blazers meet Friday at the Moda Center, with both teams coming in from very different angles in terms of rhythm and expectations. The Nuggets just lost to the Clippers, bounced back with a win over the Grizzlies, and have the Warriors waiting next. So even with 12 wins in their last 21 games, things still feel a bit uneven for them lately. Portland is coming in quietly confident, which is not something we have been able to say often in recent seasons. They lost to the Timberwolves, then beat the Jazz, and they face the Suns next. But the key detail is that they have taken 4 of their last 5 games, which gives them some real momentum instead of just isolated good nights. On the personnel side, the Nuggets are still without Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson, which trims down their wing depth and forces them to lean even more on their core pieces. The Trailblazers have ruled out Shaedon Sharpe and Damian Lillard, while Chris Murray and Matisse Thybulle are both listed as questionable, so they are juggling availability too, even if the overall group feels fresher. These teams already went head-to-head once this season, with the Trailblazers sneaking out a 109-107 win back on January 10th, and that tight scoreline fits the sense that we could see another close one here. The Nuggets are still the healthier team overall and, on paper, the side most people expect to course correct sooner rather than later. They have the talent and the experience, but they are wobbling just enough that Portland becomes a very tempting home underdog. Denver is also on the second night of a back-to-back, which is never ideal for a veteran group that leans heavily on its stars. Portland, by contrast, is playing its first game after the All-Star break, and that combination of rest, youth, and energy matters when the legs get tested in the fourth quarter. The Nuggets get the public nod because they are the established contender, but this is also a tired team dealing with a fresh emotional hit from a tough loss. The Trailblazers are young, they have fresh legs, and this might be as close to full strength as we have seen them in a while. There is a very real chance they are missing only Lillard and Sharp, which, given how the rotation has been shuffled all year, would make them feel almost whole for the first time in months. They went into the break on a solid little run, and they are sitting right in the thick of the play-in standings, which means these games carry real weight for them instead of just being schedule fillers. Portland has meaningful basketball on its plate entering March, and that urgency, mixed with rest and home court, makes the points with the Blazers look very appealing against a Denver team that might be more focused on pacing itself through the grind than winning this exact spot by margin. As our first pick for this matchup, the Portland Trail Blazers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Denver Nuggets are averaging 120.4 points on 49.5% shooting and allowing 116.4 points on 46.8% shooting, which already tells you they live in a world where efficiency and pace regularly push totals higher. They are knocking down 39.5% of their threes and hitting 81% from the free throw line, elite shooting numbers that translate into very few wasted possessions when they get into a rhythm. On the defensive side, they are allowing 35.2% shooting from deep and grabbing 42.7 rebounds per game, so they contest decently, but they also give up enough clean looks and second chances to keep opponents on the board. Portland brings a similar high-scoring, leaky defending shape into most nights. The Trailblazers are averaging 116.3 points on 45.2% shooting and allowing 118.3 points on 47.5% shooting, which is basically an open invitation to back and forth stretches. They are hitting 34.2% from beyond the arc and 77.3% at the free throw line, with just enough shooting to punish mistakes, especially at home. Defensively, they are allowing 36% shooting from deep and pulling down 46 rebounds per game, which means they give up plenty of perimeter success, but also extend possessions with strong work on the glass, a mix that usually inflates total shot volume. When you put those numbers together, you get two teams that can both score, both give up efficient looks, and both create extra opportunities through rebounding. The Nuggets' accuracy from three and at the stripe tends to travel well, even on the second night of a back-to-back, and tired legs often show up more on the defensive end than on wide-open jumpers. The young Blazers, with fresh legs after the break, are likely to push the tempo whenever they can, especially at home, where energy from the crowd often nudges them into early offense and quicker decisions. With neither defense profiling as a unit that will consistently lock up for 48 minutes, and both offenses already living in that triple-digit comfort zone, the setup points toward a game where possessions flow, shots fall at a healthy clip, and the final tally lands in a higher range rather than a grind. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Clippers versus Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Clippers and Los Angeles Lakers meet Friday at Crypto.com Arena, sharing the same floor but coming in with slightly different storylines. The Clippers just beat the Rockets, and the Nuggets have the Magic waiting next, and they have quietly stacked 21 wins in their last 28 games, which is not exactly the profile of a team to shrug off. The Lakers are not exactly limping in either. They lost to the Spurs, bounced back with a solid win over the Mavericks, and now they get the Celtics after this one. They have taken 9 of their last 14 games, so they are carrying their own version of momentum into this rivalry spot. The Clippers are still without Bradley Beal and Darius Garland, which is a strange sentence to keep saying, but it is the injury report we are staring at. The Lakers, on the other hand, expect to have a full roster available, which is a luxury they have not enjoyed very often over the last couple of seasons. The Clippers will surely feel good after that thrilling win over the Nuggets last night, but now they have to turn around and deal with their city rivals on the second night of a back-to-back set. The Lakers walk into this one rested and loose, having not played since the All-Star break, so it makes sense that they show up as moderate home favorites in this spot. Here is the thing though, the Lakers might be as healthy as they have been in a long time, but the Clippers are the group that just keeps stacking victories. Whenever the Clippers are coming off a tight game the night before, you almost have to squint at the injury report because their stars have a habit of sitting out one end of a back-to-back. Assuming Kawhi Leonard suits up, grabbing the points with a Clippers team that has won 21 of its last 28 games feels more than reasonable. They keep finding ways to win even when it seems like odds makers and the wider conversation are ready to move on from them. On top of that, the Clippers are 4-0 against the spread and 3-1 straight up in their last 4 games as an underdog, which is a neat little run that mirrors the eye test. This is not a group that wilts easily just because the schedule is a bit awkward. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Clippers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The scoring environment in this one looks lively even before you peek at the box score numbers. The Los Angeles Clippers are averaging 111.9 points on 47.8% shooting and allowing 112.3 points on 46.6% shooting. They are knocking down 36.5% of their threes and an excellent 83.2% from the free throw line. They are allowing 36.7% shooting from deep and pulling in 40.6 rebounds per game, which usually means a decent pace, respectable efficiency, and just enough defensive leakage to keep both sides on the board. The Lakers are even more tilted toward offense. They are averaging 116 points on 50% shooting and allowing 116.1 points on 48.6% shooting. They are hitting 35% from beyond the arc and 76.9% at the free throw line. Defensively, they are allowing 36.4% shooting from deep and grabbing 41.1 rebounds per game. So they shoot it well, give plenty back, and live in games where both teams see the ball go through the net often enough to stay confident. Put those profiles together and you get a classic recipe for a high-scoring night. Both teams are comfortable playing at a tempo where offenses get repeated chances to find rhythm, and neither defense is smothering enough to turn this into a grind fest for extended stretches. Efficient shooting from the field, solid three-point percentages, and strong free throw volume usually mean that even small runs can balloon totals, especially in a rivalry setting where emotions nudge players into attacking instead of slowing things down. Even if fatigue nudges the Clippers a bit, that often shows up more on the defensive side, with slower closeouts and softer contests, which only further helps the scoring. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.